Yep, it's Alex Jones, the GCN Radio Network. Okay, Bob, please continue.
It's Alex and Bob, and Bob owns XYZ Securities, and Alex is an equity expert that has lots of money. And I go to Alex and I say, Alex, I've got this $5 billion worth of bonds, which are CDOs. I want to move them off my balance sheet. I want to sell them to you on a conditional basis. You put 20% of the money up, which would be $1 billion in this case, and we'll loan you the other $4 billion for you to take this off our hands. All you have to do is pay us back, and if everything works out well, you'll end up with a nice profit, and we will have had these off the books.
So that's just fractional reserve banking again.
Well, it isn't even that. It is so illegal under FASB rules. It's unbelievable, and they expect people to stand by and look at them rob us, and us to stand still for it. It's incredible. I mean, nothing like this has ever happened, and everybody in corporate America and Wall Street and government doesn't say a word that the whole thing stinks to high heaven.
No, Bob. Instead, the ones that made the big bucks and all these new billionaires, they're all literally buying armored compounds in the Caribbean with private security forces. And I've talked to them. They said they're here in Austin. And they're basically saying it's going to be war on the streets. They have road warriored us. They have robbed us so bad, and they are just bastards. And then they've got these brainwashed, bloodthirsty, macho, roid-head cops that'll do whatever they're told and are convinced that anybody that loves America or freedom is evil, and they're ready to eat our guts and ask for seconds. God, it's so sick. They're going to leave us with a bunch of steroid cops while they fly off with all the money.
And they're all going to die, and they know it. And a lot of us are, too. But we're going after them. There is going to be redemption in this, and they know it. And they're not going to get to keep their power and money this time. And this is going to make the fall of the Hanseatic League and the Lombard system look like child's play.
You think so? No, they'll just tell the cops that babies are Al-Qaeda, and they'll throw them off cliffs, cut their heads off, suck their blood. We rape you. We're criminals. Here we go. We're going to go back live right now. I'm just so sick of them. It pisses me off. Just filth, scum, dumb idiots everywhere believing whatever the government says. You idiots have no idea. All you people saying, we're making this up, you're going to find out. Because of your ignorance and you letting them do this, we're screwed. Here we go.
771.
Some folks are born made to wait to fly. Ooh, the red, white, and
Bob, in layman's terms, explain, as you were saying behind the scenes for the InfoWars listeners that listen to those key streams, what they've done financially here. In the past, the banks could loan out 10 times for every dollar they had. That was fiat. They could buy up the world, dominate with that. But they decided in the early 90s, go through that for people, to just take all restrictions off and just start making up fake money, fake assets. They bought up all the key assets with us, and they're leaving us the junk. And then militarizing the police as a vanguard to protect them. You know, they're going to call resisting them or not letting them take your farm or house or kids a crime. But how do you see this unfolding? Because they preemptively tried to bring in a police state to block us. They've staged terror attacks to get the cowardly mass to huddle around them and give them support in their evil. I mean, where is this going?
Well, I think you've described it. It's going into the streets, and it can't help but get there. And how they've done it financially is via the route of derivatives. A derivative is like a piece of insurance. And if you owned a bond and you're only interested in the yield on the bond and it's 5%, but you don't want to take any risk on the bond itself, whether it'll go up or down, you sell that risk to somebody else. And there's somebody out there in the derivative market who will take on that risk to protect you for a price.
And then they pass the Ponzi on to somebody else and even sell that insuring of the instrument.
Exactly, and it might end up 20 hands later.
So that's just like multi-level marketing, a Ponzi scheme, where you started and get 20 people, they get 100 people, they get 1,000 people, and the upper end screws everybody and leaves, but then leaves all the lower 90% holding the bag.
Exactly, and that's really how it works. It is a Ponzi scheme, and that's how they've been holding this whole system together for really since 1992. And, of course, it's become bigger and bigger and bigger, and we have derivatives out in the form of $650 or $700 trillion, mind-boggling figures. And so, yes, they will lead the ship. They'll all go and hide out, and they think that that's going to save them, and I've got news for them. We will find them, and there will be trials for them. And I think the American people, generally speaking, don't understand anything that's being done to them. They're confused. They know something's going on, but they just can't understand it. And everybody doesn't listen to a program like Alex Jones. There's a lot of people who just don't know, and it's going to be a revelation to them, because when this all comes down, and it's in the process of doing so presently, you look at the unemployment figures, 14.7% long term. These are government figures. 10.7% intermediate term unemployment, and short term unemployment 6.1%.
Well, here's the problem. They'll just stage a terror attack right as it fully implodes and claim the Easter Bunny did it, and these cowards will run up and circle around the government and just sit there shaking. Now, I don't see that working, but they'll try that. They do anything to get the cowards to come up and cuddle up under the black wings. But these people insult us, write us letters, say we're lying. You predicted Freddie and the whole Fannie thing. We predicted everything that's happened. We've laid out what they were going to do. We've broken it down. They're total criminals. And there's still about 30% of the public that will buy anything they're told. And I know that they don't matter in history, except they're going to be the enforcers. They'll do anything they're told by the establishment, including handing their children over, as long as they get to act cool.
And that's why you have to be very careful who you speak to this about, and also very careful about venting your feelings about what's going on. Because if that happens, and we have a situation like what the Stasi had in the old East Germany, where everybody was spying on everybody else, then people will come and pick you up, because they'll tell on you, and of course there will be a reward for that as well. I mean, the IRS uses the system in the United States now exactly the same way.
Oh, well, listen, they're training
children. You bring somebody in, you get a piece of it.
They're training children in every major public school in the country that we look at with text messages to turn their parents in and neighbors in, and they're running around getting money. They want to artificially have a bad economy so they can force this conversion over to the military-industrial complex. I say speak out like your lives depend on it to block them. If we're cowed and are quiet, they may win. Do you agree with that, Bob?
Mm-hmm. My daughter's a teacher, so I know what you're talking about.
It's disgusting.
And, of course, she deviates from the subject.
No, I'm not saying she's disgusting. I'm saying how do cops listening...
No, I know that.
But I'm saying how do cops listening think freedom is face-scanning cameras and children spying on their parents? It isn't, okay? Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, that is not something that should happen in America, but it is happening. And it's going to be worse in the future. If I remember correctly, the United States government hired 2 or 3 individuals who are high up in the government in East Germany.
Yeah, Marcus Wolf.
Advisors.
Marcus Wolf, head of the Stasi, was hired by he just died last year, but he helped set up Homeland Security.
Exactly, but there were 2 other people. One of them was from Moscow.
Primakov.
Right, that's right. And that's where they got the ideas and how to make them work, as far as people spying on one another and putting systems together where people couldn't do much of anything without government knowing. I mean, these laws for money laundering is an example. They want to know where everything is going and how you're doing it. Somebody I know the other day went in to buy some money orders, and I think they were for like $4,700, and the man said, well, we can't do that without you signing and giving us a copy of your driver's license and all this. And the man said to him, look, I know you. You're going to do it my way, or we don't do it at all. And so the guy said, okay, we'll do it your way. But if you don't know the guy that's selling the money orders, you got a problem.
Well, I mean, it's total surveillance. That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. I see 80-year-old, no exaggeration, men buying beer being carded, and they're swiping it. That's a database. It's already in place. Bastards.
That's right. It's interesting that they're doing that. I didn't know that. I don't have credit cards, and I haven't had them for years. But they've become very dangerous things.
Oh, listen, I go in. People thought it was just zip codes to figure out where to put stores at a Best Buy or wherever.